For about $25 and 3 hours worth of time, you can go ahead and replace your cabinet trim with metal. This is an outside corner that was once wood. Now it's steel. It looks a lot better and it's more durable, and it gives the kitchen a more industrial feel and look. So this is what we're going to replace the wood molding on the island with: some metal angle iron and some metal flat stock. This is both 1.5 inches wide. It's 1/8 of an inch thick. Cost is about $25, and that's if you overpay like I did at the home improvement store and you don't go to your normal metal shop. This stuff is covered in what's known as mill scale. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it a weathered look by just lightly taking that mill scale off. We're going to sand mill scale off in most of the areas. And if you take a close look, the mill scale is kind of like this black coating. It prevents rust, but I want some of it on, not all of it. So we're going to go ahead and give it like an antique finish. So what I'll do is I'll spray a little bit of Simple Green on there. Just use some 120 grit sandpaper. And if I wipe that off, you can see what it does. It's taking some of the mill scale off, leaving some of it on to give it that nice weathered look. So once you're done sanding, as a final step, take a red Scotch-Brite pad. If you don't have red, green will work. And just lightly buff everything out. I just take some measurements from the bottom of my molding to the top of my island. Metal chop saw does a great job in cutting this type of steel. If you don't happen to have one, hacksaw will do the job. Cutoff wheel will also take care of it. I have 2 more cuts to go. We'll get those measurements right now. I'm just measuring out for my hole layout where I'm going to drill my holes for screws. And the way that I'm just going to run it, I'm going to go 2 inches off the top here, and then every 6 inches just stagger it from one end to the other. So I got to mark at 6 in the center, mark at 12 on the opposite end, and mark at 18, 24, and 30. So this will just offset all of our screw holes into each piece, and we'll duplicate the same for the other piece of angle iron. I'm just using 1-inch drywall screws to secure this. So I'm going to drill a hole. I think I'm using a 9/64 inch bit. And just do that 12 more times. So after you drill your initial hole, countersinking makes the screw sit down in the hole a lot nicer. It chamfers the edges, and as opposed to just a regular hole that sits the screw on top, this countersinks it, gives it a nice finished look. Bit is about $12, well worth it. You don't have to have a drill press. Only thing a drill press does is I can set my stop gauge on the drill press so it countersinks at the exact same level every single time. It makes it a little bit easier. If for some reason the mellet you got didn't have enough mill scale on it, that black coating, what you can do is you can go ahead and put it on through a chemical transfer. This stuff is called Jack's Iron, Steel, and Nickel Blackener. And if I put some on a rag or on a brush and then just rub it on my steel, it'll blacken the metal, as you can see right here. And I can control the amount of blackness in my metal by how long I leave it on. The reason that I decided to use a little bit of that is my flat bar stock here. This was cold rolled steel. Cold rolled steel doesn't have as much mill scale on it. In fact, this piece hardly had any. So what I did was I took a little bit of this Jack's and darkened it up. There you go. You just put it on, wipe it on, and you can either let it sit, wipe it off until the metal gets to the color you want. Works really good. It's an excellent product, and it's a heck of a lot better. It looks a lot more natural than just painting your steel and then sanding it off. So I let the metal blackener sit for a little bit, and you can see what a nice job it does with the metal. Now I take the Scotch-Brite pad and just start slightly removing some of that. So if I rub it and then just wipe it, you can see it's going to give me that streakiness that I'm looking for. And this is just a matter of taste. You're just going to go ahead and remove as much as you want and leave what you decide looks good. This is kind of like stain for wood, except for it's stain for metal. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of spray lacquer on here to protect our metal. To mount our angle iron, all I need is some 1-inch drywall screws. And you can see how many holes I put in. I've got 3 on each side. I go ahead and pre-drill my holes because it just makes installation easier. I pre-drill them. I've got 3 on the one side and 3 on the other. And I've staggered them so it gives it a little bit of uniformity. Now 3 on each side for a total of 6 may seem like overkill, but it's more for an aesthetic, balanced look. This little bit of steel really added a nice touch to this island. Gives it a good contrast of materials between the butcher block and the painted surface and the steel. It all comes together quite well. If you like what you see in this video, please subscribe to the channel. I'll have more videos like this in the near future. Thanks for watching.